What is the best way and the best place to meet women in 2020? What I want to do for you here in this video is I want to take you through a 3-step process that I use actually with my coaching clients to find out where's going to be the best place to meet women for you. This is not just a generalized statement. This is going to be advice that you can use and 3 steps that you could take to find the best place to meet women in your area. So the first step that I take my guys through when it comes to meeting women is we analyze your assets, okay? And what I mean by this is, what things do you have going for you that will help you meet women? So first off, if you start just the basic, if you start with your looks, right? If you have a traditional, like a boy next door type of look, a perfect type of hairline, or just that right type of look, then dating apps might be a good thing for you to do, right? If you don't have a traditional look, then maybe dating apps might not work well for you. Also, depending on the city that you live is another thing to look at. If you live in a huge metropolitan city, sometimes dating apps work better there versus smaller cities. I found they may or may not work as well too. So depending on how the guy looks, depending on what city that he's in, I may or may not have him use dating apps. So that would be one thing. So once we have that out of the way, then we go into other things as well too. Now, as far as your personal assets, so for example, I had a student of mine at the end of last year, decent looking guy in good physical shape, also had some Latino roots. So I told him, I said, why not join salsa dancing? And I just mentioned it and threw it out there. And he said, that's something that I always wanted to try as well too. Your curiosities can also lead to some good ways of meeting women as well. So I had him join up at salsa classes. And I know friends of mine and other people who have used salsa class to great effect to go to salsa meetups and dancing to go and meet women as well. I know here in Texas we have 2-step lessons and events. Another great place to meet women. Depending on where you live, you need to find out where some of these places are for you as well too. If you have any special skills or anything like that, you can parlay into meeting women. If you have, like I said, interests or things that you're curious about, right? I remember going to photography meetups and meeting women there. That was a great thing to do. And also too, other assets that you have. If you have a really cool place, okay, like right now I'm in a pretty cool house. So this would be a place where I can now kind of build a social circle and have meetups, right? And have people come over. I could have barbecues. I could have people over for events and just throw parties and stuff like that. So if you have a good place that you live, that may be another thing to do as well too, to have parties and stuff like that. If you have any type of skills, like I know there's a big marketing scene where I live, so there's marketing meetups and parties and things like that. And just making friends with guys as well too, and seeing what other stuff they're into, you could start to break into their other social circles as well. Now, as a default, I always find that bars and lounges are there in every city, so you don't want to just use some of these other places. If another example that just popped in my head, I have a friend of mine who's an entrepreneur, likes working from his laptop, doesn't like staying out late. So instead of working from home on his laptop, he goes and works at libraries and coffee shops and mingles with people there as well too, right? So think of your assets and your lifestyle and the things that you like to do or you would like to get into, and you can use those to also go out and meet women. And like I said, bars and clubs and happy hours and meetups and whatever, those things are always there for you as well. But you have to do my second tip. And my second tip is exploring your city, okay? You have to do some field work. I always make my guys go out and do some recon work to see what's going on in their city. I know there's an app called Do Stuff that you could download, and there it has, I know for where I live, it has tons of things that are going on every single day. Sometimes there's 20 events a day that are going on. So going on there, you could kind of see what events and things are happening right there in your city that you could go to. A lot of them are free. Most of them are free for you to show up to. So that's a great one. Going on meetup.com and typing in your interests, right? There's a hiking and taco meetup where I live, right? So that would be a great thing to go and start to meet women at. Where I'm from as well too. We all know girls love their tacos, right? So also what you need to do, and even if you've been in your city for a while, you need to explore it, okay? I know in my city, I've been here for about 8 years or so, and I'm still finding new stuff out all the time, okay? There's all types of events. Subscribe to different email lists, like pages on Facebook, and get notifications of what events are happening going down so that you can show up to these events and find new ways of meeting women. Now, that being said, too, venue selection is super, super important. And I've noticed that depending on different nights or different times of the year, certain venues are better or different than others. So you always want to constantly be trying new places. Even this last weekend, I was out with my friend. I mean, we must have shown an ID and popped into 10 or 20 different venues in one night, okay? And the point is we're trying new places, and we actually found a few that were better than others. So now we know if we're in that area again, this venue is going to be better than the next one, right? So you want to start to take some inventory and do some field work, okay? And even take notes. Find out which places are best on which nights of the week, okay? Join up on those email lists, get on the Do Stuff app, and see which places are going to be best places for meeting women, and start to write those down, okay? And have different options and ways of meeting women. And that brings me to my third and final, which is probably the most important point, is to schedule in those times to meet women, okay? You have to have just a bare minimum schedule and things on your calendar and on your to-do list when it comes to meeting women. Because if you don't, you say, oh, I'll just go out. Maybe I'll go out this weekend. Or maybe I'll check out a meetup next week. Or maybe I'll see this one sometime. You know, the cool thing about like a Facebook event is you have to click that you're interested or say that you're going to it. So that kind of holds you accountable with it. But even for me, a bare minimum for me is Friday, Saturday nights, I get out. I'm going to approach 10 women that I'm attracted to, okay? That's my bare minimum rule that I do every week. Sometimes I get 3 nights out, some nights 4, or whatever it may be. Tomorrow I may go to a happy hour, right? Tomorrow's a Thursday. I might go to a happy hour before I even get out Friday and Saturday. I may go to something Sunday. On Monday night, there was a football game going on and a huge crowd. I was out Monday night. So this week, I'll be out Monday, Thursday for the happy hour. I'll get out Friday and Saturday. So that winds up being 4 evenings that I'm now getting out and socializing, right? I start with the scheduling the 2 into my week, and that's my base. And then from there, I'll start to add these other things into my schedule. So even if it's something like salsa class or whatever that I mentioned before, find out what time this is, when it goes down, and schedule that into your week. Because if you don't schedule it in, you're usually not going to go to it. Any habit that you want to do, think of something like meditation. I like to do it first thing in the morning. I have a morning routine that I do every single morning, and it gets done every day because the morning comes around every morning, right? Just like Friday and Saturday come around every weekend, you want to schedule in those things that you want to do to go and meet women. So what I want you to do is try some of this out. And also, if you have a spot that's really good at meeting women, let me know what it is. Comment below and let me know what's awesome where you live so we can share the wealth and find some great places to meet women, all right? I have some awesome videos for you on my channel. Feel free to check those out. And any questions you have for me, let me know.